What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/stories about Kevin. Now, in today's first story, this Kevin thinks of an ingenious way to steal a lot of money from a bank. The only problem is, it's not ingenious, it's rather stupid, and it just doesn't really work. Let's get straight into it. Miss Kevin invents this one weird trick to outwit the bank. Long ago, in his unwise youth, my husband dated Miss Kevin. Miss Kevin had a job which had required a certain level of education. She had stable employment, a modest but nice apartment, and a decent car. It was time to reward herself for her success. What she wanted, no, deserved, was a brand new car. Granted, it was the 1970s, when car prices were lower, but it was early in her career, and she had no savings for a down payment. Not to mention, she already had a perfectly serviceable car. Several people, including my husband, gave her an explanation of depreciation and how new cars lose value very quickly, but Miss Kevin wasn't having it. She wanted a new car, and that was that. Somehow, she got someone, we'll say it was a bank, but it may have been a finance company, to give her a loan. Due to the lack of reasonable down payments, and probably her own inept negotiating skills, the monthly payment was rather high, and just barely doable, provided she scrimped on things like groceries and heat. She struggled along stubbornly for a few months, but then was hit with a rent increase. It wasn't much of an increase, but she had absolutely no cushion. Moving wasn't a good option because that would bring other expenses. She asked her dad to give her a loan to make her car payments. He agreed, but made it clear it was a one-time thing. "You've got to talk to the bank and get out of that deal," he told her. "You're going to lose money," because she was now upside down on the loan due to depreciation, but you're just digging yourself in deeper. Miss Kevin thought it over, and she came up with a plan. It was, to Miss Kevin, the most brilliant plan ever thought of. In fact, she couldn't understand why no one had ever come up with it. She would sell the car. She did not discuss this plan with anyone, perhaps out of fear of blinding them with her brilliance. She was in a hurry to be rid of it, so she advertised it at far below book value. Her ad was answered by someone who was even more Kevinly than her, and this person did not question why there was no title. Miss Kevin brushed her hands together in a "that's done" motion, used the money from the sale of the car to buy a much more modest replacement, and proceeded to move on with life. Pretty soon, the bank called, reminding her she hadn't made her car payments. "I don't have the car anymore," she told them, with what can only be imagined as great satisfaction, "so I don't have to make the payments." What had she done with the car, they asked. "I sold it." "I see," they said. "And exactly where is the car right now?" Needless to say, the car was quickly repossessed by the bank from the person who thought they had bought it. Miss Kevin was quite shocked to learn she did indeed have to pay back the loan, which, as mentioned earlier, was currently more than the value of the car. She was also shocked to learn that if you sell someone a car you don't actually own and it gets repossessed, the person you sold it to will demand their money back. My husband, hearing all this, decided that just maybe he'd look for a girlfriend who was a little bit brighter. Yeah, Karen, I don't really think that loaning a car works like that. You can't just then sell the car that you don't actually own and then just say, "No, I don't need to pay back these loans. I don't own the car anymore." I mean, it sounds ingenious if it wasn't so stupid, but yeah, if only she'd just, said this to her boyfriend or someone else, saying, "This is my ingenious plan that I'm thinking of," and they would have been able to tell you that, no, it's not really ingenious, it's just downright stupid. But I guess the more you know, and at least Karen probably learned from this situation, I hope. I don't know. Yes, very, very strange. Now moving on to our next post. Kevin is not the father. I know it, you know it, Kevin doesn't get it. If you've all read my previous post on here, I had a high school friend who wasn't the brightest crayon in the box. The story ended with him living with his drug-addicted girlfriend who's pregnant with his child. That's what I thought. I haven't spoken much to Kevin since he had gotten expelled from school, and our relationship faded into only Facebook updates on each other's lives. The other day, I was speaking to a friend, who we'll call Sarah, that still keeps in contact with Kevin. He got brought up in conversation, mostly laughing about the ridiculous things he did in school, and then I asked about what he was up to. Now, here's something I didn't mention in my original post. Back in high school, Kevin vowed himself to celibacy. He didn't want to have sex before marriage. Also, despite how strung out his current girlfriend is, the only drug Kevin ever used was marijuana. I didn't really think of mentioning it in my last post because I figured he might have changed his mind and had sex with his girlfriend. Sarah told me, "You know the baby's not even his?" Wait, seriously? Yeah, he's a virgin. I was confused because he posts on Facebook all the time of how happy he is about becoming a father. Does he know? Sarah shook her head. Nope, he legitimately thinks he got her pregnant. Sarah let me have a moment, just to see the astonishment on my face. She went on to tell me that when Kevin first told her his girlfriend was pregnant, she asked him when did he start having sex. Kevin said he never did, however they do perform oral. Kevin believes that when his girlfriend swallowed, it impregnated her with his child. Sarah and a few others tried to explain to him that that's not how it works, but he's either just love-struck or just Kevin. There has been speculation that the true father is a guy who graduated a few years before us. He is black, Kevin is white, his girlfriend is white, she's about 4 months pregnant. I'll update you in a few months. Now luckily guys, we do actually have an update. Wow, you all really want the update. Thankfully, I have one. I wanted to make sure I got all my facts straight before writing this. Kevin and I have spoken a little bit, but we're not as close as we were in school, and he's a sweet guy, so I wanted to word this so I'm not completely downgrading him. Okay, so before I give the results, I need to talk about what has happened over the past 4 months. Kevin's mum and my dad are extremely close, and she told him that she was making Kevin take a paternity test when the baby is born. She wanted it during the pregnancy, but Kevin's girlfriend refused. Finally, Kevin did get suspicious by how hostile his girlfriend was being, and they got a court order. At this point, Kevin had kicked her out of his apartment until he could confirm the child was his, and she moved in with some random guy. Kevin still provided her with money and rides. I don't know all the details involving the court or the paternity task. I didn't want to be invasive, but long story short, about a few weeks ago, Kevin's now ex-girlfriend gave birth to a little baby girl. She was white, but Kevin is not the father. Kevin's mum told my dad, who told me, and my other friends confirmed. I didn't want to intrude on Kevin since I know it was hard for him, but I told him I was sorry and tried to cheer him up a little. I don't know who the father is. I don't even think his ex-girlfriend does. The ex-girlfriend still claims Kevin is the father and is a deadbeat who doesn't want to be a good father. I and a few others called her out on her numerous live Facebook posts, but I was then blocked. Kevin's slowly pulling himself back together, and I think he is doing a lot better. He definitely feels like an idiot, but he's doing good. The other day, we decided to FaceTime, and he was trying to remove jam toast from the toaster with a butter knife, so yeah, there's that. I stopped him from continuing to do it, by the way. You see guys, this Kevin, he is not malicious, he is stupid. I was going to say he's not stupid, he definitely is stupid, but he's not a toxic stupid person. He just maybe is a little bit dumb, lacks a lot of common sense, doesn't understand how babies are made. That's, we've all been there, man. I think. What I like about this guy is that, yeah, he is clearly a very nice guy. He's a very innocent guy, We all know someone like this guy who is so innocent, so generous, so kind, but is probably not the brightest guy you've ever met. Still a lovely man, though, and I hope he enjoys a nice life with his baby that's not really his baby, or if he just cares for the baby anyway, and he doesn't need to know it's not his, really. Come on, who really cares? If Kevin's happy, I'm happy, and you all should be happy too. Now moving on to our final post, Kevin snapped his freaking MacBook in two. So, rewind about 24 hours. I'm in the student common room, studying for my upcoming chem quiz. Kevin is sitting across the table from me, watching YouTube, without headphones, of course. Now, my laptop is a convertible. You can tilt the screen 360 degrees, allowing you to switch between laptop, tablet, and a sort of intermediate tablet with stand zone. Since I'm doing Quizlet flashcards, I swing it around so it's in tablet with stand form, and I start tapping away. Kevin, in the meantime, has taken sudden and significant interest in this feature of my laptop. Out of the corner of my eye, I see him experimentally pushing the screen of his MacBook Pro, the newest model I believe, back. I say to myself, he'll realise his doesn't convert. But nope. Kevin dramatically swoops his MacBook off the table and freaking yanks his screen back with all his strength. Unsurprisingly, the hinge snaps and takes some cables inside with it. The screen is now an unusable, garbled mess and is swinging back and forth limply. Kevin slowly realizes what he's done and then proceeds to yeet his broken brand new MacBook across the room, where it smashes into the wall and turns off for good. The best part about this is that he came into school today with a new MacBook. His parents got him a new one immediately. God help this kid in the real world. Jesus, Kevin, this is just really stupid. How dumb can you be, mate? Not all, laptops have the ability to, become iPads, swivel them around, all that stuff. I mean, especially not MacBooks. I mean, what Apple products have you ever seen that you can swivel around? They don't make them, Kevin, you idiot. But yeah, I mean, I guess he wanted to do the sort of things that you were doing, OP. Just he didn't realize that his MacBook was incapable of doing those sort of things. I do agree though with your last point though. If he's got a MacBook the very next day from his parents, of course they're going to be super rich to be able to buy him that sort of stuff and just replace whatever stuff he breaks. But yeah, your point is a great one. How is he ever going to learn about, if you break something, it's broken. You can't just, just get a new one in the real world. Like when he has to pay for stuff himself is what I'm trying to say. He's going to be absolutely screwed because he might just keep breaking things, expecting in the back of his head to just go and get something else. But of course, it doesn't work like that when you don't have loads and loads of money. I hope that he'll be okay in future, but I feel like it may take him breaking a few things and then not being able to buy replacements for him to learn how money works. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of r/stories about Kevin. I've been really enjoying this subreddit recently, and I hope you guys have too. If you do enjoy these videos, drop a like and comment down below so I know to make more of them. If you want more right away, check out this playlist of all my Kevin videos. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you want some lovely Redditor merch just from me for Christmas, then that is down here as well. All right, guys, see you later today with a brand new upload.